Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Run Dot Down. I'm your host, Shwinny Poo. Khan will be joining us shortly. He's doing some bullshit for school right now because he's not locked in like Jalen Brunson was tonight. We're going to talk about the Knicks' victory in Game 5. They win 111 to 94 against the Pacers. They were in control of this game for honestly most of it. The Pacers never got the lead below double digits in the second half. And really, I don't think they did after the midway point of the second quarter. So, wire to wire dominant victory for the Knicks tonight. They needed it in a big way. Obviously, facing elimination, they're still alive. Now you got to do what the Knicks couldn't do in 2013, but they did do in 1995. And in 1999 actually, is win. I guess no, in 99 they didn't because they didn't play Game 6 on the road, but win Game 6 on the road. Win Game 6 on the road, get the series back to the Garden. They have that opportunity in front of them now. Pretty much a great game. I think, not a flawless game. Not a flawless game for the Knicks. Mikal Bridges, slow start, was really searching offensively, I thought, in the first half, pressing, leading to some really just stupid shots and questionable decisions. Josh Hart had a game. The box score looks great. I thought his decision making left much to be desired. Can't question the effort. Never will question the effort, but execution was a thing. OG Anunoby cannot make a fucking three. He made, what is he, 1 of 8, 1 of 7 or something from 3-point line tonight. Whatever. I can list things that guys didn't do, but their effort level was great the whole night. I thought they really, really competed hard defensively, and they were really physical with the Pacers right from the jump. They really got into Tyrese Halliburton right from the first moment of the game. They were grabbing him. They were not letting him get free off the ball. They were not letting him kind of waltz around when he was using screens. I thought their pick and roll coverages were really good. I thought they did a really good job covering the two-man game between him and Turner. Mitchell Robinson, he was fantastic, I thought, in terms of his defense. I thought, especially in that third quarter, he was vital for them early in that period because the offense kind of did not get off to the greatest start. They were turning the ball over left and right, but he just held it down. Him and Bridges, I thought, did a really good job covering that two-man game. And, Landry Shamet, he's getting his name chanted by the MSG crowd. That was something. But his effort was great. I mean, I thought him and Delon Wright, again, since they've been given opportunities in the series, they're having an impact. They're having an impact defensively. They're giving you good minutes. And you've got to appreciate their professionalism, staying ready. And, credit to Tibbs for going back to them because they hadn't played. Really, Shaman had played like 5 fucking minutes in that Detroit series, and then he'd pulled the plug on that. Neither played in the Boston series. I think Delon Wright had played something like 25 seconds or something before this game. Before he got put back into the rotation in this series. So those guys deserve a lot of credit, and Tibbs deserves credit for going back to them. You can wonder why he didn't do it sooner, but, end of the day, he did go back to them. And I'll be honest, like, I wasn't sitting here clamoring for, certainly not Landry Shamet minutes after what I watched him do against Detroit in the brief moments he got. Delon Wright, sure, I wouldn't have minded bringing him in, but I was fine just being like, no, we'll play 7 guys. I don't know. But he extended the rotation. I think they needed him to. So credit to Tibbs for that. I still don't fully grasp what's happening with the rotations here. I think the entire quarters of Mitch in the first and second periods, or for the first and third periods, and then not using him at all in the second and fourth is a bit odd. I don't know that that's ideal. I think the Josh Hart thing it is what it is. It's not really any point in getting upset about it because that's just how it's going to be. and it's crazy. Hart was 20, he had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists today, 2 steals. But I don't know. I thought he was really sloppy, like good energy, but sloppy. But yeah, I mean, this was, again, like the rotations. Again, I don't fully understand what's going on there and how he's using certain guys, but I'm not going to focus too much on that right now. It was a great victory. They needed it. Jalen Brunson, I mean, what can you say? 12 of 18 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 32 points, plus 18 in his minutes. Even though he's terrible and you can't win with him, and Becky Hammond was right. She wasn't. Becky Hammond sucks, and everybody who constantly brings up that fucking quote anytime he has a bad game are it's the lowest form of conversation, as my good friend Tony would say. This was a great win. This is a great win. They needed it, and like that. We'll move on from there. All right, I just wanted to get off my spiel, and I will get to some comments here. John Leary says maybe James Edwards reverse jinx the series. For all who didn't catch it before the game, James Edwards put out a video, like a fucking 40-second clip of him explaining why the Knicks are finished in this series. Obviously they haven't won the series yet. They still have they still got to win 2 more in a row. No easy job for them, for anybody in that case. You go down 3-1, it's tough. But I didn't understand that at all. Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it. I thought that was crazy. John Larry Halliburton smiled and waved to the crowd after the buzzer sound. Good for him. Halliburton was terrible tonight. What I will say is, if you are physical with him and the refs are going to allow you, quite frankly, if they are going to allow Jalen Brunson to be defended a certain way, they should allow Tyrese Halliburton to be defended the same exact way. And I think what you saw is a little lack of fight, a little lack of him being comfortable with the physicality, fighting through the physicality to get back on the ball. And I think they took him out of his comfort zone, and you could feel it throughout the game. I mean, you felt it right from the jump. He just did not have it. He couldn't find it at any point, and they frustrated him. I thought, look, Mikal Bridges, again, that first half, I don't know what the hell he was doing offensively. I thought defensively people were kind of piling on him in that first half. I didn't really get it. I thought his defense was fine in the first half. Not spectacular, but fine. Second half, his defense was great. I mean, he had Halliburton in jail. He had some timely buckets, although the Knicks are still fucking incapable of hitting the kind of nail in the coffin threes at the end of a game. But, hopefully maybe they're saving them all for game 6 and 7. That'd be good. But yeah, I mean, if that's how they're going to defend Jalen Brunson, I say I'm all for it. Let's try that out on Tyrese Halliburton and see how he likes it. And tonight, it took him out of his game, out of his comfort zone. Brian Benjamin says, so corny. Just want to smack the lane out of this dude. I think my hot take in this series, from this series so far, is that I actually am fucking I think I despise Aaron Nesmith and Benedict Mathurin more than Tyrese Halliburton. Even I can't stand either of those guys. And I thought Mathurin to me is just, I think he plays out of control. I think he's very much on the borderline in terms of being dirty or not dirty. And he just gets a fucking whistle that I think is absurd because he drives completely out of control, starts flailing his arms all over the place. Fuck both those guys, and fuck Halliburton too. John Leary, more solid minutes from Shamet. Best defensive intensity this playoffs. Hard agree with that. There's no question that was, they were. He was. I think in general, their intensity was fantastic. That's probably, it's got to be such a fucking mind fuck for them though, because you go from that Piston series where it was just like there were no rules. It was just constant warfare, hand-to-hand warfare. And, you go from that to the Boston series where, they were letting them be physical, but not quite as much. And then you get to this series and it just feels like, who knows? Like, I mean, there are stretches of games where they're not calling fouls, and then you get quarters where they're calling everything. I can imagine it's very difficult to figure out how you should or how you can play defense. But yeah, their defensive intensity, their physicality, their force was great tonight. I mean, even Reggie Miller mentioned it on the broadcast where he said that, he said like he didn't think that the Pacers matched the force that New York came into this game with. And I think he's absolutely right about that. They didn't match it. And it's hard. Like, I think we experienced this in game 5 against Boston, right? Where you're like, okay, they're at home, they're down 3-1, they're desperate, the crowd is probably going nuts, and it's just hard to match the same intensity and physicality and keep up with it for 48 minutes. And the Knicks capitalized on it in the same way that Boston did in that series. So, look, the real test is going to be, I thought they were going to lose game 4. I thought they were going to win this game. And I thought, ultimately, this is it, right? Like, game 6 is, not like I'm breaking news here. It's a must-win game. But no, this is what it comes down to. The moment you drop game 1, the way they dropped game 1, I kind of felt like if you were going to win this series, it's going to go 7. And you were going to have to win probably that game 6 on the road. So, here we are. So the Knicks gave themselves the opportunity. They gave themselves the opportunity in 2023 against Miami. They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get across the line. Let's see if they can do it here. Would be a fucking gutsy ass win if they're able to pull it off. Sorry, trying to get to this. Jared R. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer after win, but there's no reason Hart should play more than Deuce and Shamit combined is nuts. They are clearly better suited for the series. These tiny decisions cost us. I know. I don't think you're being a Debbie Downer. I think this is a completely fair point. And, it's one that I tend to agree with. The margins matter. When you're up big, you have more margin for error, right? We know that. But if you kind of make these suboptimal decisions on the margins and you stick with them just because A, you won the game, and B, so technically, you didn't get punished for it. That's a mistake. And look, there's nothing new to be said about Tibbs and Josh Hart, right? Like, we know, to me, this is not a Josh Hart problem. Josh Hart is what he is. He's going to have stretches of games, quarters, whatever, like where he just plays like a fucking dodo bird. And then there are going to be stretches where he's flying around and making everything happen. And that's what he is. He is a roller coaster ride of a player. I think most coaches would kind of feel it out. And when he's going good, ramp up the minutes. When he's not going good, dial back the minutes. Tibbs views him as a necessary player is maybe the way to put it. He's somebody who he feels needs to be on the floor for 34, 35, 36 minutes minimum every night as the team is currently constituted. That's his evaluation. Do I agree with that? No, but that's what it is. The proof will be in the pudding. At the end of the day, the proof will be in the pudding. When you make these choices, I think I would call this more of like a gut instinct type of choice rather than the data is pointing to this. And I know everybody in here probably doesn't need to hear what the numbers are or whatever. We all kind of know this implicitly. But sometimes you got to coach with your gut. And Tibbs has kind of generally always been that type of coach, in my opinion. So maybe he'll be rewarded. Maybe not. We're going to find out. Like we'll find out Saturday. That's for sure. Because I'm not sure you're going to be up. I don't think you're going to be up, 15, 16, 17 points cruising, just cruising along in the second half in a game like that. I think it's going to be a tight game. And if you're not kind of in it, if you're punting margins in a tight game, it's going to be hard to overcome. So, we'll see. Hopefully Josh can get, I still feel like he's playing with this manic energy. He's pressing a little bit. Hopefully he can settle down and just give us the best version of himself for all the minutes he's out there on Saturday, because he's going to play a lot. And if he doesn't play well, I don't think the Knicks can win. I don't think they can win a game in which Josh Hart doesn't play well. He didn't play well in game 1, they lost. They didn't play well in game 2, they lost. He didn't play well in game 4, they lost. Game 3, he played well, they won. Game 5 tonight, I don't know if I'd say played well, but he played okay, they win. He's going to be out there a lot of minutes. And when you're on the road, the guys that play a lot of minutes have to deliver. So hopefully he delivers and Tibbs gets rewarded for his faith in him. Jordan Bub, I'm assuming you got this from Twitter. Eastern Conference guards with double-digit 30-point games and a playoff run. Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, Jalen Brunson. That is it. Yeah, man. I don't know what else to say about Jalen Brunson. He's just a special player, man. Just a special player. Every single time people want to start criticizing him and trying to get on their narratives about what he is and isn't doing. It's just over long enough time frame, it comes back to bite people because he's a superstar. I mean, that's it. Like, he is a superstar, and at some point, the nitpicking about him, that's what it is. It's nitpicking. This isn't like valid critic. Like, saying you want to be critical of him, that's fair. He has to play better defensively. Yes. He, some of his decision making needs to be better. Sure. He, does he struggle at times balancing his scoring with getting other guys involved and, getting off the ball quickly? Yes. Do any of these things make him a player that you can't win a championship with, that is somehow lacking in some intrinsic quality that is has to be there for I guess championship players? I think that's all bullshit. And a lot of the criticism we've seen from him of him through the series, but especially after Game 4, has been ridiculous, disgusting, stupid. Pick your adjective. It's been ridiculous. The guy is, he has been nothing but a playoff monster since he got to New York. Really. Just has not. There's nothing else you can say. There's nothing else you can say. He has played now 17 games in this playoffs. These are his averages. All right, here we go. He's averaging 30.1 points, 7 assists to 2.9 turnovers, 3.5 rebounds. He's shooting. He's got 46, 36, 85.5 splits. The guy is just a fantastic player. That's all there is to it. And again, if people want to constantly go back to stupid criticisms that have been made of him, he's not a 1A, this and whatever, they can have fun with that. It's stupid. They're just going to get embarrassed over the course of time. He has a 57.5 true shooting. So actually that hasn't been updated yet. Should be higher after tonight. But yeah, he's an incredible player. And what's one thing for national media folks and fans of other teams to kind of get on the Jalen Brunson isn't, he's too small. He's too much of a ball hog. It's fine for them to get on that shit. The fact that there were Knicks fans trumpeting this bullshit Come on, man. Come on. What are you doing? What are you watching? What are you watching? This is the best Knick since Patrick Ewing. It's not close. It's not fucking close, man. It's not. I'm sorry. You know, I know I do the Carmelo Anthony thing all the time. I'm not even good. This isn't me shitting on Carmelo. Jalen Brunson is much, much better than him. I'm sorry. Like, that is a fucking fact. And if people can't understand that, if people can't accept that, that's on them. But he is the best thing to happen to this fucking franchise since they won the fucking Ewing lottery or something. Or like since they traded for Camby or some shit like that. Like that's how long this fucking franchise has been in the gutter. And you know, I'm not trying to diminish the good players that have come through this organization and played and done a good job here in the years between, you know, the last time the Knicks were consistently good and now, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pile on Julius Randle. You know, I know that was a fun activity for many people last night. But, you know, Julius Randle helped get this thing turned around, you know, and obviously we have other good players now. It's not like it's just Jalen Brunson. You know, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns. You know, you can go back over the last few years, right? Quickly, fucking DiVincenzo, Hartenstein, whatever. Like, it's not just been Jalen Brunson by himself, but he is the straw that stirs the drink. He is the reason why the Knicks have now won a playoff series in 3 consecutive seasons, why they've gotten out of the first round 3 consecutive seasons, why they're in an Eastern Conference Finals, why they're still alive in this Eastern Conference Finals, why they won the series against Detroit this year. He is the reason they won that series. Nobody else. I'm sorry. That, you want to start, like, he won them that series. Point blank. He won them the series. Hit an all-time great fucking cold-blooded series-winning shot. And if there are people that want to get fucking, you know, on their high horse about, oh, he's too small and he's not a 1A and all this shit every time he has a bad game, they can fucking suck wet farts for all I care. It's bullshit. And I'll tell you exactly why it's bullshit. Oh, I know it's bullshit. Do you ever hear this when Ja Morant isn't even in the fucking playoffs or whatever? No, you never hear it when he gets eliminated. Do you ever
How about Trae Young?
Yeah, you never heard about Trae Young. Did you ever hear? You never heard this. Not once. Not a single fucking time did you ever hear this about Damian Lillard, who, by the way, Jalen Brunson right now, the peak Jalen Brunson, what we've witnessed over the last 3 years, what he has become, is better than Damian Lillard at his best. And Damian Lillard at his best was a fantastic player. He's not even close to this version of Jalen Brunson. He's not. Jalen Brunson is a better player. And just the last thing I'll talk about this, because it's fucking absurd. This idea that Brunson can't coexist with another star is arguably the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. He literally had his breakout season playing off of Luka fucking Doncic, who has the ball 7,000 minutes. Like, he has like a 700 usage. That's who Jalen Brunson thrived. That's who he had to figure it out playing off of, and he was great at it. He played well off of Julius Randle. Like, we saw that. Basically, anytime Brunson and Randle were on the floor together and RJ Barrett did not exist, they were dominating teams. They dominated teams. Like, this is just, like, this idea that Brunson can't play off of another star or whatever, it's fucking horseshit. It's absolute nonsense. Do you want to say, like, if you want to tell me that Brunson should be better at finding cat and pick and rolls and pick and pops and stuff like that, yeah, I'll give you that. No question. He should. He should. But it's not a one-way street.
Hey, and you know who else? You know who else couldn't find cat on pick and pops?
Anthony Edwards.
Everybody's fucking favorite up-and-coming star, Anthony Edwards, who got his shit handed to him on a fucking silver platter and his ass kicked again last night for the second year in a row in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and the other, and like I find, you know, Anthony Edwards, he's 23 years old, he's going to get better for sure. Like, I'm not even, I agree with you, but I also, like, I'm not that worried. I wouldn't be that worried about it if I'm a Wolves fan. That said, though, like, again, none of this stuff ever holds up. Because if there is truly some issue of, like, oh, Brunson is not good enough in pick and rolls and dribble handoffs and shit like that, why the fuck were him and Hartenstein amazing together? Like, why? Would that just magically happened? Like, none of this holds up. It's all bullshit. And, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Jalen Brunson's perfect. He is obviously somebody who can be taken advantage of defensively. He is at times guilty of having tunnel vision and forcing up shots. I mean, I think I definitely talked about it after game 1 in that Detroit series. They won the game, but the first 2 games of that series, I was like, you're just playing like an asshole right now. Like, the numbers look great, but you're playing like an asshole. I haven't felt that way this series. I thought he's struggled at times for sure, but I don't think he's playing like an asshole. I think he's just, maybe not, his decision making isn't the cleanest. His defense hasn't been the best. And just by actual last thing about this rant that I've been going on about Brunson, this whole like defense thing. Again, like, we just watched this guy like have to defend on an island throughout the Boston series because the Knicks were switching so much. Now, is he executing everything they're doing perfectly in the series? No, he's not. He struggled with a lot of, because they're not just switching and whatever. They're doing different coverages. But it hasn't just been him, is my point. Like, this whole thing of like, oh, Brunson, dude, like, watch this. Again, if you watch the first 4 games of this series back, you're going to watch everybody make multiple mistakes, especially the perimeter guys, in terms of how they're covering stuff. All of them. Every single one. Deuce, Josh Hart for sure, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. I mean, like, the worst defense played in the series that actually cost us a game, like, no question, cost us the game, was OG Anunoby and Josh Hart in the 4th quarter of game 1 against Indiana. That cost us a game. Is anybody sitting here telling me you can't win a championship because OG Anunoby is on your team doing stupid shit on defense? No, because we know that that's not an accurate representation of what he actually is as a player. That's like, so to kind of take these 4 games, in which, by the way, he's had what is he averaging for the series? Like 32 or 31 or something? Like, to take those 4 games and concoct this theory and go back to this narrative of like, well, can't win with him. He's too small. He's too this, too that. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And, forget the fans of other teams, because obviously they're going to just do that shit as a troll anyway. But for the actual Knicks fans that were kind of getting on that bandwagon, and for national media folks to kind of get on that bandwagon, it's just embarrassing and it's pathetic. Con, thoughts about the game?
Oh, man. So I just wanted to look back at Brunson's box scores. He is averaging around like 34, 32, 33 points, I want to say, through 6 games. I noticed this a bit later on in the game, and I tweeted about it because I was on social tonight, on the main Strickland account. I would put OG Anunoby on Halliburton to start next game. And I would have Siakam guarded by Cat. I would have Miles guarded by Mitch. Halliburton wants absolutely nothing to do with OG Anunoby. Absolutely nothing. He's getting up into his chest. He's Kenny Mayer. Shout out to Kenny Mayer. He replied this on the under the tweet that I posted. He said he's hesitant when he sees Mitch and when he sees OG. And guess what? If you want to do any type of 1-5 pick and roll, you're going to see Mitch and you're going to see OG. If you want to do 1-4, you're involving Siakam in the action. You can figure stuff to cover up for Cat being involved in that. But I think it optimizes Mikal, because I thought the Halliburton matchup would be fantastic for Mikal. Somebody who he doesn't have to get up into their chest to kind of hang with them. Can kind of use his arms, use his athleticism against Halliburton, navigate screens, but it hasn't gone that way for him. So I think you go OG on him. I think you let Mikal play off ball. And I think that could be the nail in the coffin for the Pacers. Like, with all the other stuff that we've done with DeLon, and Landry getting back into the rotation, Mitch in the starting lineup, I think we are on the verge of choking them out game 6 on their home court if we just let OG get that Halliburton assignment. I really, really do. This is the first time they've been held under 100 points in the postseason through all 3 series. and it's really weird. I didn't even think this. I've never thought the series was over at any point, and I think there is serious blood in the water right now. I think that if you guys saw that clip of Halliburton smiling on his way out of MSG tonight, that motherfucker is nervous, man. That motherfucker is nervous. You don't play up to the cameras like that. When you're walking back into the tunnel, like smiling, looking all jolly and shit, like you just got your ass handed to you, bro, on national TV. Game 6 closeout game, Game 5 closeout game in MSG. Um, I think you win Game 6 and you put OG on Halliburton and you let him fucking suffocate him. This Pacers team is gonna crack, and it's gonna topple like a house of fucking cards. Siakam, the shooting that he had in Game 2, although he's made timely shots here and there, he certainly made timely shots in Game 4 that helped him put the game away, and he made some timely shots tonight that helped him stay close during important times in the game. But unless you get a Game 2 Siakam performance, man, I'd be fucking worried if I was a Pacers fan. I would be fucking worried. Because there's no answer for Brunson, no matter what they want to say about Nesmith. There's no answer for Cat. And the WWE 20-point Mathurin game already happened. The WWE Aaron Nesmith 20-point quarter already happened. The Siakam WWE career high in the postseason already happened. What's going to beat us this time? Maybe a Miles Turner game. Who knows? But he hasn't gotten free at all in this series. Is it going to be the Nemhard game? Maybe. Who knows? But he hasn't gotten free in this series. So I think we have one last uppercut to throw, and I don't know if they have one to respond after we hit him with it.
So what I think the OG thing is my guess. I think there are a couple of reasons why he doesn't want him on Halliburton. The first being Siakam and Turner. Like, Cat can obviously only defend one. Mitch has to be on the other. But if you put Mitch in the action, like, it almost works better to have what I would suggest more so than having OG on Halliburton is when you have Cat at the 5. So when Mitch is off the floor, like when he plays the starters, basically, I would put OG on Turner and I would put Cat on Siakam, because I don't think the Siakam Halliburton pick and roll, pick and pop, whatever, is anywhere near as threatening or dangerous as the Miles Turner one.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to defend. And if you put OG on Turner and they want to run that pick and roll, you can just switch that. And I'm fine having Mikal switch on to Turner. If they want to post Miles Turner, be my fucking guest. Be my guest. Have a blast. Please beat us with Miles Turner post-ups. I would love that. I would love nothing more than that. If Miles Turner goes off and has a fucking 45-point game, hitting a bunch of fucking one-on-ones over Mikal Bridges, you tip your cap and you move on. That's it. Like, they don't win this series. They don't win games unless Halliburton has it going. And I think you can turn off his water doing that. I don't mind having Mikal on him. I think this was pretty easily the best defensive game that Bridges has played on him, in isolation, in pick and rolls. Game 3 was also good, but that game was so fucking weird, man. I don't even know what to make of that. You can either Game 3 and 4, to be honest. I think the rotations were just so fucking weird. It's like hard to take too much from them. I think. But yeah, tonight
did you do the Josh Hart thing on here?
I did touch on Josh Hart. Yeah.
Pause.
I did talk about it. I mean, you can talk about it more if you want.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to say on it is, and this is going to be just real quick, I think Tibbs benching him and then playing him every single minute possible after the starting lineup kind of sets the tone, is pretty arrogant and insulting to the fans. Because you groveled and you stayed up at night thinking about this change, and you almost did it against Boston, but you didn't end up doing it because I can't do that to Josh Hart. And then Josh Hart goes up to Tibbs and he, suggests it. It's not like it's just fucking fake if you make that change and then you play Josh Hart for literally every single second after the first sub until the end of halftime, and then every single second after the first sub in the third quarter until the end of the game. It's fucking bullshit. But I hate to like be this guy and do the whole fucking Tibbs talk right here, but I kind of don't expect anything else from a guy who says that he watches the game multiple times and we don't. And like fucking tries to throw shit in our face all the fucking time. So yeah, I think that what did Josh Hart finish at in the box score in terms of plus minus? Do you know off the top of your head?
Sorry, what was the question?
Josh Hart's plus minus tonight.
He was -1.
-1 in a 17-point win.
I mean, I don't even. To me, it's like forget the fucking plus minus, right? Forget the fucking plus minus because I think that stuff we know it can be fluky in one game samples. Just watch the game back today. Just watch it back. Like
how many fucking stupid turnovers, man?
That's right. Like he has dumb turnovers. There's the box out at the end of the the third quarter where he just kind of like lets Thomas Bryant get around him. He gets an offensive rebound. Like I don't want to harp on it because to me, at the end of this is what he is. Like he has hot streaks. He does things that are amazing. He has moments that are amazing. He has moments that can turn games. But he has moments that he can turn games against you. And he's a roller coaster ride. Like that's what it is. So that's like at the end of the day, I don't know how much there's kind of no point talking about this because this is what
I hate that though.
But it is, but it's like what we've all said what there is to be said. Tibbs views him as important to him as Brunson, as OG Anunoby, as Karl Anthony Towns. Like he views him in that tier, like as vitally important as those guys. And that's it. Like that's it at the end of the day. There's nothing to be said. He will either be rewarded for, his unshakable faith in Josh Hart, or we will be punished for it. And that's that. Like there's nothing else to be said. That's the reality. And hopefully he's right and he can own the libs. That would be great. All right. Walt Clyde Fraser says, shout out to Precious.
Yeah.
Stopgap performance. Yeah, I thought he was really good. He was really good in his minutes. By the way, Karl Anthony Towns, man, that fourth foul, like it's not even just stupid because he picks it up. He's on the bench talking to PJ Tucker like, well, what did I do? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking you look like you're a pulling lineman. Like, like what the fuck? You run blocking now? I mean, like, goddamn, I know, like, I think the Jets offensive line is a good condition. I think the Giants strengthened their offensive line. I don't think we need you to try out, buddy. Like, good God, that was crazy. And I just couldn't believe he complains to the ref, which we know he's going to do anyway. Everybody does that. Who cares? But then he's on the bench talking to PJ Tucker, and PJ Tucker's like, yeah, you can have your hand out like this, but like, you can kind of just see him like show Cat that. But Cat's literally like this. I'm like, I don't know. Like
he's extending his arms, bro. He's extending his arms.
What did you make of his pass blocking technique there?
I like, truthfully, he's getting benched for committing the fouls in this game, and I'm also benching him for not shooting his hands out fast enough on the kick slide. But dude, I just like I really like have like he has endeared himself to me. I think he's been such a fucking warrior throughout this
he has
throughout this run. I think after the first two games against the Pistons, he's been fucking incredible for the most part. I feel like he just like is physical for the sake of saying he was physical on a lot of these fouls. And then I feel like he thinks that people are like lying to him in a way where he's like,
sorry, can I read this?
Yeah.
This is from @DeanIsReal on Twitter.
Your boy Dean. Shout out Dean.
I guess this is from the postgame. I'm sure going to read his tweet though. Chuck asked Cat why he commits dumb fouls, and he said, "Only God knows."
God, dude, he's such a fucking goofball. He's such a fucking goofball.
Also, apparently in the post game that Brunson did on ESPN, J.R. Smith came over and was just like grabbing his shoulder. SVP asked Brunson, "Who is molesting your shoulder?" Jalen Brunson, J.R. Smith.
You could say that word on live ESPN television. I don't know. I don't know. If anybody can say it though, it's SVP.
I guess so.
Shout out to JR in the fucking Mellow jersey. I know we did the whole Mellow spiel too, which I actually agree with. I think he's overrated for his time here, even though he's part of the generation of Knicks who really helped spark my love for the team. But yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just,
I'm frozen. That's good.
No, you're good now. You're good now. The whole Mellow charade after watching a winner for the last
we're back
3 years. Yeah, you're good now. The whole Mellow charade after watching a real winner for the last couple of years is like, yeah, dude, don't bring that. No, you're good. You're good. Just go sit in the stands. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, keep politicking to get your jersey retired. Fucking bum. All right. Next comment, David Goodman. Mikel finally stopped playing like a wuss. I agree. I'm assuming that was like an actual tactical choice or something, because I don't. You don't think he stopped playing like a wuss, or you don't agree?
I don't agree that he fully stopped playing like a wuss. I think there was a lot of wuss moments still. There was just enough for me to not call him out.
I think people will just like. He's just not going to like barrel through screens. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Like we don't. If we expect that, we can't expect that. If we want to be disappointed all the time, yeah, all I'll say is I think that second half for him, that's what they need. Whatever his issues with physicality or whatever, like that's what they need from him. Like, and not just in terms of how he defended Halliburton, his offense in that half was exactly what they need. Like, you don't need to jack up mid-range jumpers just because you get into the paint. You are allowed to pass it back out to guys. He actually had a couple of nice swing passes in this game, which was good to see. But like that decision, like he had one to Cat in the first half that was fucking beautiful. But they just need to get more. Like they need more. I think the best thing I can say about him and Hart, or not the best thing, but just how I kind of have felt about their series. I think both of them, these last few games, are aware that they're like struggling a bit. Yeah, they're aware they're struggling. I think they're pressing to try and make plays to like, get kind of like, no, I got to snap out of this. And that actually has led to them making more mistakes. So less is more. Literally less is more. Just play simple. And like tonight's easy. Brunson's on fire. Cat's on fire. Like just fucking play off of those guys and you're good to go. You don't need to do any more. Like don't need to do any more. Can't do any less. Just play simple, understand your role, play your role. And there are moments obviously where you still want and need Bridges to go get you a bucket, right? Or whatever. And he had a couple of those tonight. But like just don't. I get it. Like the pressure is there. We all know it. And I think especially for Bridges, more so than Hart, there's like it's not just the pressure of having to deliver in this moment. It's the entire price tag and constantly mentioning how many picks were like we know it. I think that weighs on him. I thought that all year. But fuck all that. Like fuck that noise. Don't need to worry about that. All we need to do is win. Just win basketball games. That's it. All we need to do is win the basketball games, and we'll be okay.
Like the captain said, a quarter at a time.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep. My namesake, Ushwin, says Benedict Mathurin having a legendary whistle is the only reason this wasn't a 30-point blowout.
Yeah. Benedict Mathurin You had your good game 4. You had your great game 5. It's time for you to go back to being a fucking nothing. It's time. It's time. I can't have Benedict Mathurin influencing this fucking series right now. I really can't.
Yeah, Benedict Mathurin can eat shit. Fuck that guy. I really enjoyed Brunson pulling on his jersey. I thought that was great. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was fantastic. More of that, please. ZMR33. Tibbs' rotations were ballsy tonight. Think he took some chances with sitting JB as long as he did, but I think the rotations were handled a little bit better overall. I agree with this. I still think there are some weird things going on, but I think it's, you can be critical of his rotations, which I have been. But I also think like this is somewhat to be expected when you change your starting lineup and then you reinsert 2 other guys into the rotation that weren't in the rotation. Like you're searching for stuff a little bit. And I think that's been evident definitely since, I thought in game 2 you saw it a bit too, but definitely since game 3. But tonight was definitely better. I actually felt like he should have left Brunson in to close that third quarter. Halliburton went to the bed down the Knicks team at that point. One day my potato internet's not gonna fail.
You said shouldn't have took out Brunson down the third quarter, right?
Yeah, shouldn't. But like they were up 17. Halliburton goes to the bench. I think you have the chance to blow them out right there. I think you can push that lead up to 25 by the end of the third quarter. I thought he should have left him in. I didn't think it was like a insane decision to pull him though. I thought it was obviously very reasonable. It's like, all right, let's get him some rest because I might need him to play whatever in the fourth quarter. I just thought it was an opportunity to kind of throw the haymaker. And it felt like to me the whole game, especially in that second half, it just felt like the Pacers were like, they just wanted an excuse to lay over. I mean, Carlisle pulled the plug on this. What, they were down 17 or 18 with just under 3 minutes left. In my head, I was still like, okay, we just gotta like run them off the line and make sure we like. I'm still fucking nervous. So I just thought they were looking for an excuse to lay over tonight. I thought you could have given it to them in the end of that third quarter, but I agree. I thought he did a good job of getting Brunson rest. The Mitch thing is weird. I still don't agree with playing him entire quarters. I don't like that because I think the way he's doing it is almost like if I just use him for one big stretch the entire half, then that's fine. Like that, if it's almost like he has 24 minutes, how do I use them? And he's just like, I'm just going to play him all at once. I don't love that because I think you want to have the option and the ability to call on him to play especially in the fourth quarter in key moments. But that's his, that's at least what he's been doing lately. So we'll see if he sticks with that, if he tweaks it at all. But that was good.
Sorry, go ahead. So my bad.
And I was just gonna say one thing I think Tibbs did a really, really good job of to start this game, and I hope they keep this and carry it forward, was I think Brunson's first 2 shots that he made, the initial action on those was him off the ball. So they got him going by using him off the ball. They did a good job of that, I thought, too, at various points in the second half. So that was definitely intentional, definitely part of the game plan. That's something we need more of. I think it's harder for them to load up on Brunson. I mean, I think it is harder for them to load up on Brunson when you can use him off the ball and when you do use him off the ball. And he's also a great off-ball player, even though NBA Twitter is now of the belief that Jalen Brunson is the most selfish player of all time who can't do anything off the ball. He's a really good off-ball player. So when you do lean into that stuff, it makes it easier for him. And I think it opens up the floor for other guys and gives other guys opportunities to get involved. So I just wanted to shout that out because we've spent God knows how much time criticizing Tibbs. But I thought he coached a pretty good game tonight, albeit some weird decisions. I still do not love closing with the old starting 5. I still do not love closing the first half with that original starting 5. I don't trust that group. They statistically don't deserve to be trusted. I question the wisdom of sticking with that. I worry that sticking with that in Game 6 on the road could end up being very costly. But yeah, I mean, there were definitely a lot of good things he did tonight, and I do agree with you with the ZMR's comment here that the rotations were ballsy and definitely better handled overall than they were in game 4. That's for sure.
Yeah, the Brunson stuff doesn't bother me too much, just because we had a lead. And I get the knockout punch thing, and do I agree with you? Yeah, it's just not something that really bothers me.
Yeah, it was more like a thought I had versus like I was not sitting there like I cannot believe what is he doing here? How could you take Brunson out? Like, no, it's fine.
When he does play Mitch, though, for those full quarter stretches, though, I do feel that way, like that what the fuck is this guy doing type of way. I feel like that's. I'm gonna knock on some wood before I even say this, but I feel like that's like the way that he would end up not being healthy, right? Like being out there while he's gassed at the end of a shift, and just kind of moving around a little clumsy, turns an ankle or some shit like that, like some super unlucky thing. I feel like if you are gonna make Hart the first sub, right? Hart comes in for Cat, he takes the Siakam matchup, whatever. Why is the next sub around, let's say, the 3-minute mark, maybe the 2-minute mark, not Cat coming back in for Mitch? Or whether that's the third sub or the fourth sub, whatever the fuck whatever it is. There shouldn't be stretches where Mitch has to play 12 minutes. And if he starts the next quarter, it's looking at 13, 14, 15, right? So this isn't there's scenarios where I want Tibbs to play guys more minutes. I want Brunson to play more minutes. Like this is do or die. Every single game from here on out is an absolute must win. So if Brunson gets 45 minutes, am I going to bitch and complain? No. Like, what I want him to do, bench our best player, or I guess not play our best player as much as he can. I might be like a bit of a beggar can't be a chooser type thing right now, because Mitch did come into the starting lineup, even though there's been other bullshit that happened because of that. But it doesn't seem like he fully thought out the minutes for the bigs after putting Mitch into the starting lineup. That's how it feels to me.
Yeah, I don't
also work out. Sans serious foul trouble, I think you should be able to work out not having to play Precious at all in an ideal world.
No, I agree. And that's my concern with playing Mitch 12 minutes in a row, especially because we know Cat is foul prone, right? Like we can be again, there's stuff that we inevitably will be upset about, but it's also just reality. Like we talk about Josh Hart, right? Like we know what he does and doesn't do and what the good and bad things are. With Cat, we know he's going to get into foul trouble. Now, half the times you watch him play and you're like, 3 of these fouls are fucking stupid. Like, why are you doing 3 of these fouls? But he's going to do that. I actually thought Stan Van Gundy was pretty funny at the end of the third quarter, where he was like, I wouldn't put Cat back in here, but if you're going to have him on the floor, just have him spot up. Don't have him set up.
Don't fucking make him set a screen.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do that.
But yeah, I do think it's a risk. It's a big risk, I think, using Mitch in the stretches he is, because it leaves you open to like, shit, I got to play Precious now or something, right? We'll see. I mean, it is what it is. That's what he's doing. So David Goodman says Anne Hathaway needs to be at the next game to unlock OG. Wasn't Suni there?
Suni was there and he fucking shot like shit.
Yeah, maybe he's just nervous now. It's like, oh God, I hope I can live up to.
You think he has a little bit of stage fright?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about MSG.
Andre Dreyer says, put out the extender signal up. Need Scott Foster for Saturday.
Fucking leave Scott Foster in whatever fucking group home he's in, dude. I can't. He's gonna fucking fuck up another travel call on Cat. Can you put up this comment about Mitch, OG, Deuce in that lineup?
Sorry, say it again.
There's a comment from 11:34 p.m. about Mitch, OG, Deuce, Cat, Dylan Wright.
Yeah, I'll get to that 1 second. Oh yeah, I would like to hear you guys speak. This is from John Paracelli. I'd like to hear you guys speak about a Mitch, OG, Deuce, Cat, Wright lineup. I'll tell you what. I would like to see it, and I'll tell you what. I'll give you another one. A lineup that they have not used it at all, and they probably will never use it. I would not like when they go to these no center lineups, Indiana. I would not mind going out there with like OG, McCall, Hart, Wright, Deuce, or something. You could have Brunson on there too instead of Deuce or Wright if you want, but I would not mind seeing that. I would not mind seeing it. But yeah, Mitch, OG, Deuce, Cat, right? That would be good. Unfortunately, it's also a lineup that we haven't seen at all this season. I cannot see Tibbs putting that out there. If it happens, maybe they can. I mean, maybe they can bring back Wright next year, and they'll do that. But I actually wouldn't mind bringing back Wright. I like him a lot more than I know. Campaign had a good regular season for us, but I just think Wright is steadier. I like how he fits defensively with the kind of 7 core guys we have, which are the original starting 5 and then Mitch and Deuce. I like how he slots in with all of them defensively.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like his temperament. I think he's solid, kind of unflappable.
I think you're going to be looking at another situation where you're trying to fill out the roster with some level of minimum contracts, right? Because we know the second apron is the devil, right, and all this stuff. I don't know where he's going to get fined anything more than a minimum deal because he was on the bench for the whole fucking season. So maybe this run plays him into some real money. By real, I mean like a couple million above the minimum. But I don't know, man. I feel like it was always weird to me that he didn't play over Payne because he feels like a guy who Tibbs would want to play over Campaign. He feels like this is Elfrid Payton, but like good.
I wonder if, to me, it's a loyalty thing. Like I think Tibbs doesn't like shaking things up. That like Payne was pretty good for the Knicks in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
So I just feel like he's probably like, I can't pull him out of the rotation entirely. The only time he's really ever done that, if you think about it, was when we traded for Josh Hart at the deadline, right? He completely pulled Deuce from the rotation at that point, which was the right decision at that time anyway. So I just don't think he wants to do that to players. I think he feels like it's it's bad or it's wrong. But I agree with you. Like, I feel like Wright makes so much more sense as a Tibbs player than Cam fucking Payne, who just based on shot selection alone, you're probably like, Tibbs must like fucking have aneurysms. This guy.
You know who else is a fucking Tibbs player? And sorry to your namesake for butting in before his question gets answered or whatever. But dude, Landry Shamet, like, is this guy coming back next year?
He might be.
This is
But I mean, this is
incredible. He's given us an incredible spark.
He looks. I mean, he's playing physical. That stop he had on fucking McConnell under the hoop was awesome. That was awesome.
Yep.
We've seen McConnell do that like 700 times against this team, against everybody. Fucking Deuce, OG, McCall, Hart. And every single time he gets down there and starts doing his like 50,000 pivots, eventually somebody jumps or whatever and he gets off a shot or finds a cutter. He played that perfectly, stonewalled him, and then he got the turnover too. So, yeah, he was great. And he's been really good throughout this series when he's played. Ushman says, my favorite play was Neesmith pulling Brunson's pants down for 90 feet and flopping for a foul, giving up on the play and allowing and one. He smacked Brunson upside the head to give up the and one too.
That guy, there's not a lot of words for me to describe Aaron Neesmith with. And the very few that I would choose, I should probably not say on here. that's where I will leave things with Aaron Nesmith. Talk about a fucking loser. Every sense of the fucking word. Just a total fucking like the what they let him do is such a fuck you to everything about us. Like we watch Lou Dort play defense, bro. We watched Alex Caruso fucking undress Nikola Jokic for the entire fucking series.
Watched him undress somebody else yesterday.
Yeah. And for us to get these calls on us where somebody's like Hallie, people talk about how he's made all these shots and whatever. I think Hallie's gotten a good whistle. I think Siakam's gotten a fucking great whistle. And the Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, fucking Aaron Nesmith, who else was it? Dennis Schroeder, like all of like that fucking archetype of guys, man. Dude, like I just don't know if the NBA thinks we're not watching them play. And
the Cat Siakam scream off has been everything I thought it would be.
that's electric.
Probably the matchup of the playoffs for me.
Yeah.
Isaiah says, hilarious how the opposition is crying about grabbing their team's point guard when Nesmith can play football on Brunson. Yeah, it's been ridiculous. Yeah, it's been wild. H22 says we got into our set so quick to start the game too.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Very, very good stuff. Hayase Eel says Hawkporty should get minutes, especially when Cat and Mitch get in foul trouble. He can contribute. I think I would agree. I think if they had played him earlier in the season when they should have played him, I would agree with this. I think it's almost wrong to put a rookie in that situation now. When you like, especially because Precious, whatever his flaws are, he's completely viable to play for 3-4 minutes here and there if you really need somebody. And quite honestly, the weirdest thing about fucking Precious is that he does his best work in the most critical moments against the best players. You're like, wait, you suck against Cody Zeller, but you're really good against Joel Embiid? Okay. Interesting.
And he kind of has those spurts where if you play him for 4 minutes, I don't know if it's because he's energized or whatever, but he'll actually be good. That's the best way that I can say it. He will be good for those 4 minutes. If you play him a second over, starts doing dumb shit. But he was not missing any rotations on defense. He came in and made hustle plays. Was that an offensive rebound where he got the N1? Or is that just him? Was he cutting to the basket? I forgot. And he missed the free throw after.
This was Cat.
No. This was Precious when he came in for his little.
No, it wasn't a putback. It was a kind of a little push shot he got in transition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. I think he comes in and he kind of is like, all right, I'm gonna empty the tank for these 4 minutes and whatever happens, happens. And it's usually good because you have a 6'8", 6'9" guy who's running around with reckless abandon. And he's just making himself useful.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Bub, do you think the Knicks are figuring out the Pacers' offense?
I do think so a bit. Not necessarily that they're figuring out their stuff, but playing the Pacers is just an adjustment. It is 24 seconds of see ball and see your man. And don't forget that you're probably not in shape to guard them for all 24 seconds. So definitely an adjustment. I think that part of the adjustment is for all intents and purposes, Porzingis kind of didn't play last series. And he wasn't much of a threat if he was playing. So not being super stressed out to get back onto him if they're running like a pick and pop with him and Tatum or whatever it was. Kind of a different dynamic with like recovering onto Miles Turner. And just like their whole team is way more active. They're deeper than the Celtics too. So they present different challenges, man, and it's why I was a bit nervous coming into the series, but I meant this when I tweeted it, whatever it was, 2 days ago or whatever. Um, they I fear them and respect them less now than I did then. Um, the offense is exactly what it is. 24 seconds of them running around and praying that you make a mental mistake or miscommunicate with a teammate and they have an open shot. Uh, is it something that I think should be dissed? No, because that's basketball. But do I think that these are players who are playing higher than the sum of their parts? Absolutely. Like I still think for all intents and purposes, the Knicks have the two best players in this series. No matter what anybody says. Like this Halliburton face of the league talk from Paul George, he should go.
Buddy, you're not going to get your jersey retired in Indiana, pal.
He should go buy a fucking rope. That's what he should do.
We're not going to say what he should do with that rope, but he should get one.
No, he should do it in the house.
Just have it. Yeah, just
maybe just hang it up somewhere. That's all.
Shanye says NBA fans that think Brunson is a shot chucker probably loved Hallie taking 7 shots in a potential closeout game. I will just say this, like, I think there is. I've definitely come around to the viewpoint of like, as much as I despise Halliburton, he's obviously very good, and the way he plays, I think, helps create. Like, there's a reason why Indiana plays the way they do. Like, that comes from Halliburton. Like, the way he pushes pace, how he kind of keeps guys involved, his vision, all that stuff is true. It's there. But he's just a weird player because he'll have these, like, I don't know how you go from that last game where, he looked like, what did he have? I don't even remember what the stat line was. He was insane in that game. You go from that to this and you're like, you're not even taking shots. Like, I mean, Reggie Miller was like going crazy in that fourth quarter where he's like, dude, there's 7 minutes left in the game. Fucking shoot the ball. Like, what are we doing here? And I mean, he's a very weird player. And I just want to say, like, he is a weird player and he does have games like this. So I never, ever, 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 ever want to hear again when he has 2 or 3 or 4 bad games in a row where he's not shooting much or whatever, that it's his hamstring.
Bed.
Oh, the bed. Oh, fucking, he's depressed from the Olympics. Like, give me a break, man. Like, he had a bad game. Like, if you think so highly of the player, it should be okay that when they have a bad game that you just say he had a bad game. Like, that's it. It's fine. Yeah. You can think, like, I mean, we just watched this with Brunson. I think the consensus, at least at the bare minimum, is that he's like a top 15 type guy. We as Knicks fans obviously are going to think much higher of him than that. But the point is, like, I think everybody at least has some baseline understanding of, like, this is a very good player. But when he had a bad game, everybody's like, oh my God, it's like, obviously he went overboard, but people are willing to call out that he had a bad game. For Halliburton, this never happens. When he has a bad game, it's just constant, like, oh, well, this thing happened and that and whatever. It's like, just say he had a bad game and move on with it. It's not that hard. Mm-hmm. Sorry, this is from HB Greg. I hate to be negative after a great game, but I can't have faith they'll win this series when this coach is so set on playing hard despite anything he does on the actual court. My only pushback on this is that, like, there are actual things that Josh Hart does which are awesome on the court and are great and help you win basketball games. But it's got to be in the right doses, and you got to know when he has it or when he doesn't. And when he is playing like a dumbass, it's okay to just be like, even if you want to put him back in the game at some point, it's okay to pull him and be like, yo, I'm taking you out for a few minutes here. Settle the fuck down. Relax. Calm down.
I mean, he had I thought most of his rebounds today were rebounds that he shouldn't have gotten. Like, he had a great day on the fucking boards. And I believe he had one where, oh fuck, what was it? I think he had one that kicked out to an open 3. I think that was the Shamit 3. and then he pushed the other one in transition, and he got an and one finally in this series. So, was it all bad from Hart? Absolutely not. Um, was the majority bad from Hart? Maybe, but I also think there's a case to be made, like, and this might be just the gambler and me talking. 5 games into the series, Hart hasn't had a great game. Maybe we get it in game 6. He's kinda due for one, like, even with the three-point shooting, I don't think he's made multiple threes in a game at any, in any game this series. Let me double check that real quick.
Yeah. No, he hasn't had a great game yet, so you're waiting for that because he always is capable. And I will say, like, if there is a guy who is liable to just like dial it up for game 6 on the road out of nowhere, it would be Josh Hart. Like,
And actually be engaged on defense.
his defense was just, I don't even know what to say. Like, he came in and immediately there were like 3 different breakdowns where I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Him and Mikal, they're obviously great friends. But goddamn, do those guys fucking do they like? It's like they don't talk when they're on the floor. They have no. It's crazy. Like, chemistry exists on defense too. They have no chemistry on defense. Like, none, absolutely none. And they've played a bajillion minutes this season. They played for what 3 fucking years together at Villanova, and it looks like they just met each other for the first time every time they're on the floor together on defense. It's crazy. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. To this point, John Leary, a user makes a post on Pacers Reddit and said he knows someone who's friends with Halliburton and how he's been with the back injury. Oh, did the back injury crop up at shoot around today?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? But give me a break.
No, it was actually at the Hilton that they were staying at. There was a pea under his mattress, and you know the story of the princess and the pea, right?
Yes.
There you go.
I don't even know what this is. What do you think of the Pat McAfee skit on Tuesday? Was that the
Okay.
when he just like had that stupid speech during the game?
Yeah. Do you know like what he said?
Yeah. I just gotta like, I don't care personally. Like, it's fine. Like, whatever, say whatever you want. I would be so embarrassed if the Knicks did that. Like, if the Knicks had if they had Pat McAfee come to the game and cut a promo on like visiting fans or something, I'd be like, what is this?
He like I didn't really have a problem with it because like for whatever reason Pat McAfee is like a part of their fucking culture down there, which is like, yeah, you guys are all really fucking weird. But the only thing that I think was like a little unruly was he just called them sons of bitches, and I was like, dude,
Calm
public,
down.
like,
Just calm down.
it's okay.
We're not at a WWE event, pal. Like,
Yeah,
this isn't
like
Raw.
at the end of the day, do I think it's a big deal? No, but I would have been a little bit like, yeah, who's this guy? Like, who does this guy think he is? Like, the hell? I'm getting like punked by Hunter right now.
Timothy Chalamet probably was like, I don't know who you are, dude.
He was like, dude, I date Kylie Jenner, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen my movies? Have you ever watched
like I'm fucking Lisan Al Gaib, dude. Like, and then Ben Stiller is like, dude, I made Severance. Like, okay.
Carl Anthony Towns. Shout out to our medical staff. They gave me the chance to go out there and play tonight. I'm just gonna throw this out there, by the way. I agree with everything you said about Carl Towns. I think he's been everything he could have asked for since he's come to the Knicks. And obviously we know his defensive issues and blah blah blah. We know what he is, but he's been great, and he's played through injuries and he's been available for all of it. The next time Karl Anthony Towns is on the ground after something, or he's looking at the camera and he's like, I broke it or whatever, let's just agree that it's not serious at all, because it's never that serious. Like him game. All right, let's see.
Wait. Say it again. Say it's not serious, and then what else did you say after that?
I was just saying, like, he's dramatic, dude. Like, he's dramatic, and he's
It's the
Dominican.
upbringing. It's the
Yeah, he's
Dominican.
Dominican. It's fine. Like, you just have to let him like get it out of his system, and then he moves on. It's like Josh Hart. Josh Hart like just screams and like gesticulates wildly, and you're just like, all right, dude, can you just get back on defense now? Like, just fine. Like, we get it.
It's always the fucking.
Yeah. His face is. It's like his eyes get like all like they're not even open anymore.
He'll like close one. He'll be like, "What?"
And it's like, Josh, he's bleeding from his nose. You hit him. What? No.
Not me.
Thank you. Jordan Bubs posted these quotes. Carl Lee Towns post game. I'm trying to repeat this performance. We have to. We have no more room for error. Our backs are against the wall. Every game is do or die. We don't bring the energy. We don't bring the execution. Our season will be over. He also said on Jalen Brunson start to the game, he was cooking. That's what I saw. You understand, especially when you're getting points at that kind of rate. You got to get some stops. You don't want to be trading 2s for 2s, 3s for 3s. Yes. Chris Percy-Einen says, until that last play, every Knick that had played tonight had a positive plus minus except for Josh Hart, who was a -3.
Oh boy.
It's whatever. John Paracelli, all caps. Yeah, really. Thank you, John, for all the energy here. All Pacers players are soft and front runners, fake tough guys. Yeah, I do think there's a level of fake it until you make it, and they faked their way into like. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's the NBA, so nobody's ever going to actually fight. None of that shit's going to happen. But there is like a level of, and it's smart on their part too, where it's like they just they're just fucking hack you and grab you and do whatever. And they're basically betting it's like, yeah, well, they're not going to call enough of these for it to matter. And because
especially against them, because they play fucking 17 people.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And because they have good depth, it's almost like a worthwhile strategy for them, right? Where it's like, okay, well, is there really a big drop? Like if Aaron Nesmith picks up 2 fouls, yeah, that'll kind of suck, but it's like, okay, we can put in Ben Shepherd, we can put in Mathurin, we can put in whoever, right? They have like different options they can go to. I gotta say, the depth. Look, I don't hate Obi Toppin the way a lot of Knicks fans do. I kind of don't even understand that really. I will say today, I thought he was fucking awful today. Like, I don't know what the hell he was doing. That play in the first quarter where he tried to like split the double team and dribble it off his foot or whatever, I was just like, bro, no. Like, what are you doing? Like, I thought he was terrible.
No, he was playing for our badge today. That's what he was doing.
Native New Yorker.
Yep, he was playing for the badge today. He knew what he had to do.
HB Greg says Carlisle going for the Hackimich was funny. I thought it was a good strategy.
I can't believe with a team that doesn't value their fouls at all, it took him this long to do that. That's my main takeaway.
Well, I think it's tough though, because if you put us in the bonus early, I mean, like, how long are you really going to do the Hack-a-Mitch thing? Like, how many possessions in a row are you going to do it? And then once you're in the penalty, like, yeah, we know Brunson's good at drawing contact, right? Like, we know Karl-Anthony Towns, I mean, he doesn't get enough calls, but he gets calls sometimes. Like, he's probably going to get to the line a few times. Like, you're putting yourself in a position where those guys can maybe end up taking advantage. So I think that's the risk. And I think that's why it's, he hasn't done it as much. I also just think there's an element of like, even if it's effective, I just feel like most coaches are just kind of like, this is so gimmicky and whack. I can't. Yeah, I just can't actually do this for like an entire quarter or something.
Fucking Joe Mazzulla, bro. Fucking Joe Mazzulla don't give a shit.
Even he, though, at a certain point in that series was like, all right, like, let's.
We need to fucking be men. We need to be men.
We need to be men. We need to play defense. Let's do that. H22 asks, have we finally figured out TJ McConnell?
Fucking God can only tell us the answer. Who
I hope
knows?
so. I hope so. HB Greg, do we know did he watch the game tonight?
The lack of coverage is stunning, really.
Well, I will say the one game we know he watched, they did win, so they're 1-0 in the did he watch? Did he watch?
The Diddy era, our Diddy era. That's what we call the Nova Knicks, the fucking Diddy era.
John Paracelli asks, why not more Deuce on Hallie?
I I have no answer for you. I'm sorry. As much as I want to get into the nitty gritty and break things down, I think Hart should be sacrificing 14 minutes, and those should go to Deuce, and he should spend those on Halliburton. But there's not much for me to say on it. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much for you to say on it. I don't think there's much for anybody really.
I don't know. Yeah, the answer is I don't know why. I just know that it is. Like, I have no idea why we're not getting more Deuce on Hallie, but I do know that that's what's happening. That it's not happening. That we're not getting it, and I will hope that Tibbs's call in this situation is correct.
I'll even say this. How many I want to see how many minutes Landry Shamet played tonight. Landry Shamet played 14 minutes tonight. He played 14, DeLon played 10, McBride played 18. The fact that Hart played almost as many as all three of them combined is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There's no oasis in this fucking desert, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, just is what it is.
HB Greg, I don't know how I feel about the next game because I want to believe we'll come out with the right focus we need, but the team's been such a roller coaster. The fact that we don't know if Brunson, Deuce, McCall, OG, Cat actually can work is such an insane thought this late in the year. And then this is the one I was most interested in. I don't know why everyone wants to trade Cat so badly. I think he's given everything he can to the Knicks this year.
You know how I feel about this. I was talking about this with some people on Twitter. I think Cat in that whole trade, the whole Randall and Dante for Cat trade, I think Cat has so clearly made us winners in that trade. Like, yeah, Randall had his nice series against the Lakers when their best big man defender was LeBron. He had a nice series against Minnesota where he just got to make Draymond Green his lapdog for 5 games without Steph. Whoop-de-doo. The minute there's any real ball pressure, there's any real decision-making, that has to be made by him. Bad series, right? Like, over in 5, what do you have, 3 bad games? Like, 3 legitimately bad games. And here's Cat, like, you've seen the shot making against Detroit from on the perimeter. You've seen him down low against Boston. You've seen kind of everything against the Pacers. And I think the fouling kind of like overshadows the defensive conversation with him. He was not a bad defender against Boston. I don't even think he's been a bad defender in this series. Do I think he's been stupid? Yeah. Do I think he's committed stupid fouls? Yeah. I will never argue that shit. But this is like the only non-superstar who I think is constantly under a microscope like this. Even Halliburton isn't under this guy's microscope. Dude, you let Cat look like this guy, if he whips his head back on any drive the entire game, it becomes another fucking homophobic meme. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit what this guy has to put up with, honestly.
Yeah. I think the way he's discussed is very bizarre. Yeah, it's bizarre to say the least. As far as just like, I don't really have an interest in trading Cat. I think it's the what really I just did not understand after game 4. And I get it. It was a very fucking annoying loss. You're down 3-1. Zoom out. Just zoom out. The guy made third team All-NBA. Should have been second team. LeBron should not have been second team over him. Should have been second team All-NBA guy. He played, 78 games or something this year. Um, he played a bunch of minutes. Like, I love Mitch. Mitch can't play the minutes that Cat plays. Like, he can't do it. He's not. It is not easy. Like, go look at the minutes that 7-footers, true centers, whatever, how you want to phrase it, average. Just go look at that. There are very few 7-footers that carry the minutes load that Cat carried this year. He was, he's been everything that you could have asked for, and
I think he's been more.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think, you know, I'm not under the impression he's a perfect player. All right, like, he fucks up defensively. He commits the dumbest fouls literally every game. Like, he doesn't see the floor well when he posts up. Like, whatever, he tries flashy passes for no reason. Like, we all know what the flaws are, but it takes away, like, when we focus so much on it, I think people have lost sight of what he actually is, and also where this team is. I mean, again, you lose in game 4. There are a bunch of people talking about, like, this team, like, we need to make huge changes again. No, this guy isn't good enough. The ceiling is where is this team going? You're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're literally a historic collapse away from being tied 2-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Up 3-2.
Yeah, and now 3-2. You beat Boston. Like, you beat Boston. A team, again, go back a month. Go back 2 months. Go back to the fucking February. Every take, not just from fans of other teams, for the consensus take, I didn't think the Knicks could beat Boston this year at all. I said that from the start of the year. I didn't think they would do it. I thought Boston was a bad matchup for them, and that we didn't have the depth that we would need to win that series. Obviously, Tatum gets hurt, but you were up 3-1 when Tatum got hurt, or well on your way to 3-1, I should say, when Tatum got hurt. But you beat Boston. Okay, so you're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're still in the fucking series at the point everybody lost their mind and talked about Brunson's terrible and everything. Cat needs to be traded, blah, like, whatever. Like, obviously, we all hope the Knicks win on Saturday, right? Take it to Game 7, and hopefully they win Game 7 and we go to the finals. We all hope that. If they lose on Saturday, if your takeaway from this season and from what has been achieved is we cannot win with Karl-Anthony Towns, he needs to be traded and he is the problem, I don't get it. I don't get it, because for somebody who, I don't know, when we did the trade, I was like, I kind of get it. I don't hate it. Not sure I love it. It's fine. We'll see how it works out. And I've not been a Cat believer. So that anybody who's ever listened to me or followed me on Twitter for a while knows that I've not been like the biggest Cat guy. But you watch him every night. You kind of see everything. I've been impressed by Cat. I've been very impressed by Karl-Anthony Towns. I think he's been a damn good Knick. I think he's handled a lot of different things that a certain somebody who is not here anymore maybe wouldn't have handled as well. And yeah, I truly don't understand the need to, like, oh, we need to trade Cat. And it also worth saying, like, we didn't even get, like, we're basically still developing this whole, like, Mitch and Cat playing together thing, because we didn't get a chance to do that in the regular season. Now, that's why I thought it was a mistake not to give Huck 40 minutes earlier in the year with Cat, because I thought that was at least a facsimile of what it could look like with Mitch. But we just didn't get it. So this team obviously still has a very good chance of making the finals. Hopefully they capitalize on it this year, because these chances don't come around, or you don't know when they're going to come around. You don't know what can happen. Mm-hmm. They have a chance right now, so hopefully they capitalize on it. If they don't, I just think there's still so much more to look forward to with this group, and what they're capable of. Because personally, I do not think I think they're ahead of schedule from what I thought. I did not think they were going to have a chance to go to the finals this year, unless they got crazy injury luck, which isn't what happened. They're up 3-1 on Boston before Tatum, or on your way to 3-1 on Boston before Tatum ever gets hurt.
I personally thought the only way they would make the finals would be you get a healthy Mitch and you magically stumble into Pacome or McCullough being a day one player. And obviously, McCullough was hurt to start the year. He was in the G League after like game 40 of the regular season, whatever the fucking case was.
Yeah.
Pacome
And
was
Tibbs
clearly
didn't want to. Well, Tibbs didn't want to unleash him on the league too soon because it
yeah,
just wouldn't be.
that's the
It
next
wouldn't be
year
fair.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it just wouldn't. It wouldn't have been fair to the league.
So, man, I just like the team is just like I need the overreactions for one time in our lives as Knicks fans to just be left at the fucking door. Like really, this team had people saying they wouldn't beat the Pistons. This team had people saying after going up 2-0 against the Celtics that they were still going to lose a series and get embarrassed. This team had people saying that after going down 2 against the Pacers, they were dead in the water. There is a strong narrative about this team being soft, or there is a strong narrative about this team being expensive asset-wise and not being worth it. There's a strong narrative about kind of every single player on this team having a flaw, a big flaw in their game. And I think all of it is a fucking house of cards when you really break things down. Is this team expensive picks wise? Yeah. You know who else was expensive picks wise? Fucking Cleveland Cavs when they gave away 4 of them and Ochai Agbaji, make it 5, and whoever else they sent off in that trade for Donovan Mitchell. You know who else was expensive pick wise? The Indiana Pacers when they sent away 2 or 3 unprotecteds for Pascal Siakam and Bruce Brown and whoever else they traded away. And they were also expensive asset-wise when they traded a current All-Star in Domantas Sabonis for Tyrese Halliburton, and they're betting on his upside. And, oh, by the way, the Celtics were also pretty expensive asset-wise when they traded almost everything they had left in the short term for Drew Holiday. For Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. They shipped off Marcus Smart in addition to draft capital. Like that is the equivalent of our trading Josh Hart. Like we talk about that a lot. That shit means something to our team. That shit meant a lot to them when they shipped off Marcus Smart. The only team you can't really say is super expensive asset wise is the fucking Oklahoma City Thunder. That's because they got to hold Shea out of every single fucking game for the last 4 years with fake injuries. And they got to get a pick for taking on Al Horford, and then he magically is back on HGH, and they get a first-round pick for trading him back to the Celtics. Like, they are not a comparison. All these teams that are legitimate contenders are short on draft capital. Every single one. Minnesota just traded a 2027 unprotected first for Rob Dillingham. He can't see the fucking court in a series that matters.
I just got to say that trade to me is baffling. Like,
all time bad.
I mean, he ends up being awesome, but like, look, man, if people want to sit here and like, oh well, Brunson's too small. I always said you can't win with. What the fuck do you think you're gonna do with Rob Dillingham then? He weighs on what 170 pounds, soaking
after
wet.
you fucking knock him in water, he weighs 120 pounds.
Right. Like look, you're in a championship window. If you're Minnesota, you traded it was a 2030 pick swap and a 2031 unprotected pick. Those are basically your best they're not basically, they are your best non-player assets that you had available to you. And you cashed it in for Rob Dillingham, who didn't even help you in the first year of his rookie contract, which to me isn't really like a huge deal, but it is a huge deal when you're trying to win now and you trade your best assets to go get that player because you're wasting, you didn't get any value out of 25% of his rookie contract. That's fucking crazy. Like, that is so nuts to me. And he didn't deserve to play. Like, that's the reality. Like, you cannot afford to play that guy right now. Maybe he takes a leap and he's awesome next year or something and moving forward. But I just personally, I hated that move when they did it. I did not agree with it when they did it. And certainly not for him. Like, if it was a different player, if it was a different player or something, I could have seen it. But I mean, look, I don't do any fucking college scouting or anything like that, draft scouting anymore. But I just remember looking at I was like, wait, he's fucking 6 foot and he weighs 165 pounds. Like, I'm
guy
good.
looks like fucking Emmanuel Forbes for the Commanders.
He looks like Tank Dell, but smaller somehow or something.
He's like, dude, this is becoming like a Wolves fucking hate whatever pod. But even if he was good, he doesn't fit what they do. They defend 1 through 5. Like even Randall to some degree bought in, right, with the defensive side of the ball. Between Ant, McDaniels, Gobert, 3 really good defenders. Conley, another good defender. When Conley ages out and you need Dillingham to grab the reins of that point guard spot, that is an absolute sieve on defense, just waiting to get exposed by Shea or J-Dub, or I don't even know who else Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox, I guess, too, when Wemby starts to be unleashed on the NBA. Like, I think them forcing him potentially into the starting lineup, and kind of like riding it out with him could be very costly for that title window. Very costly. We'll see though. Like this is obviously a year one stuff, but he's probably not getting taller, and he might not get a lot bigger, stronger. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Frank Barrett. This is Frank Barrett from Twitter. Our good pal Jeff. Per APM, Jalen Brunson has been the most impactful offensive player in the entire postseason. Say what you want about his defense, but the idea that he can't be a primary contender needs to be put to bed immediately. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. John Paracelli, Cat missed free throw, OG missed free throw, Brunson turnover. Any of those things don't happen, we win on top of literally the biggest collapse in history, and we're up 3-2. Yep. And look, you guys got to say this. This is why losing that game is such a gut punch, because you should really, what should be happening right now is we should have 2 chances to win the series, right? That's what should happen right now. We shouldn't have to be in a situation where we're like, well, we have to win 2 in a row to win the fucking 3 in a row total. 2 in a row from here on out to win the series. That's why it sucks. And that's why I mean, like I don't think this is the best version of this team that we're going to get. I think next year's team will be better than this. I think they'll be more well-rounded. I think they have more like Mitch, hopefully, knock on wood, he'll be healthy to start the year. I think we'll have more information to make better choices of how we want to round out the depth with our veteran minimum signings and whatever in free agency. Hopefully some of these young guys like Huck Forty and Dadier and McCullough and Kolek, maybe they can contribute next year. I think next year's team will be better. But just because you have a better team next year doesn't mean that you get as far. Like, if anything, these players have taught us that shit happens and things can get weird real quick. Cleveland had a much better team this year than they've had ever since they made the Mitchell trade, and they got fucking smoked in 5 games by the guys that we're playing right now. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't ever take it for granted. That's why losing that game sucks. But similarly, and like I tweeted, earlier today, like, I just don't understand the doomer shit that people have been doing since Game 4 with this team. This is a really good team. They're really good.
At this team, you look at this team for next season, and you don't change a goddamn thing. All right, keep the coach too. You're going into next season. Boston is not a factor to you. Milwaukee, probably not a factor to you. Cleveland, sure, factor, but they need fucking changes. They need serious changes, whether it's trading one of the bigs or trading one of the guards. They need changes. And I like the rumored Suggs Darius Garland trade for them. I think that helps them a lot. Indiana is a factor. Very obviously they're a factor. But Indiana over the next 3 seasons, I don't know if there's any particular order on these, but I know it's these 3 guys. Myles Turner, Benedict Mathurin, Aaron Nesmith, all hitting restricted or unrestricted free agency.
Turner's unrestricted this season. After this season, Benedict Mathurin will be restricted after next season. He's extension eligible after this season.
Yeah.
And Nesmith, I'm pretty sure, is extension eligible
after next season.
Is it after? When did its extension kick in? Was it this year? The first year?
I think so. And I know if those 2 guys, if Turner and Mathurin are the next 2 guys, I know Nesmith is the year after that. So he's extension eligible after next season.
Yeah. So, yeah, like And the other thing is, like, forget Indiana, forget any team specifically. This new CBA is like, it's basically a hard cap. Like that second apron is basically a hard cap. You can exist over the second apron for like a year, maybe 2 years max in a row. You can get away with it. After that, you're going to have to find ways to duck down under. So the Knicks, if you kind of look at how they've structured this, next year, they'll still be under the second apron. They're over the second apron. Clock won't start until the 2026-27 season. And then hopefully you'd run that for 2 years, maybe. So
there's a chance that they don't even go over it in 2026.
I'm assuming if you extend Bridges, which I'm thinking is going to happen this offseason, then you'll inevitably be over. I haven't looked at the 2026 cap sheet, so I can't tell you that for sure. Mm-hmm. But the point is, like, with all of the moves they have made, and obviously they've made a lot of big moves, they've given themselves like a 4-year window here with this little group of like 6 or 7 guys that we've talked about. And they have to find ways to find a couple more pieces. You know, now it should be mentioned, like, they made a little trade for Delon Wright at the deadline. I'm not going to kill Tibbs for not using him more, but this is why maybe you should have tried stuff in the regular season, because now you're seeing, oh, okay, this guy actually, and we saw it when he played, so it's just weird to me. But like, yeah, so like, you know, you have the ability to find cheap talent, especially with this new CBA, with the limited amount of cap space that's going to be available this summer. I think there'll be I mean, we already saw it last year, right? There are guys that got squeezed and had to take smaller deals than you would have expected. Like Gary Trent Jr., he signed for a fucking veteran minimum, right? With the Bucks or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Like, so there's going to be guys that get squeezed, and the Knicks now are the perception of the Knicks among like media folks and fans or whatever. It can be what it is. I guarantee you there are players in the league that are like, well, you know, if I don't have, man, I'm not getting the money that I want. I probably need to showcase myself for a year. Why don't I go do that in New York on a team that's very competitive? Like, there will 100% be quality players who get squeezed out and will then look to like, what's the best situation that I can showcase my talent in, and then hit free agency again in 2026 and hopefully cash in. Like, I guarantee you, New York is an appealing option to many, many players.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to OKC because you're not going to play. They have all their guys. You going fucking Milwaukee? No. Indiana has all their guys. There's also, like, people have to remember the development that we've had with our rookies. Not these 4 guys from this season. That's not who I'm talking about. But quickly developed 25th pick. Grimes developed 25th pick. You know, the list can go on and on. We developed Sims, and we used him in the trade to get DeLon. Deuce has been developed here. Brunson was not a finished product when he got here. He was developed here. I think we've even helped Cat develop a little bit of like his post game and just being a bit more physical. We've helped develop OG a little bit, I think. Maybe that's more reputation now that he's on a bigger stage, but we helped Dante develop. We helped Randall develop. Like, all of this stuff is real.
Well, don't tell Julius that. He's never played on a team that had championship aspirations before.
Yeah, because he didn't play on this Knicks team. That's why. But instead, he has to play on the Timberwolves this season. So, still not true. What's the chances that they hit on a UDFA? What's the chances, you know, that they get somebody like AJ Green in Milwaukee to hit for them? Like, I think with this front office, with this dev staff, it's pretty high.
I mean, who's to say that the Bucks don't trade us AJ Green with Giannis, right? Who knows?
Yeah, for you know, Josh Hart straight up.
That's how the cap works, guys. Yes. H22 says, love OG, but if it's just you in transition against 5 guys, bring the ball back out.
OG had so many, like,
I just need him to not dribble.
Just don't dribble. 3. Yeah, let's like fucking cut it out, bro. Like 3 with the guy closing out late. He's like, pump fake, and then I'll throw it off the backboard, and then I'll catch it and put it back in. Yes, that is how that's what we wanted. Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking rebound stats.
Yep. Retro, win one more game and it's 50-50 at MSG. Yes, sir.
More than 50-50, brother.
Yep. I mean, you got to like your chances. Tay 2-2, Knicks in 7, y'all my guys. I agree the Dilly trade feels bad. Like it turns into a true point guard. The Terrence Shannon pick might save them though. Yeah, that Terrence Shannon pick was good. He looks like a real player. John Paracelli asks, Shwin, if we win game 6, you and me streaking in the quads, where? Which quads? Let's tell me.
All of them.
Yeah, all of the college campus quads in America. Before Trump ends college education anyway. He's trying his best, guys. He's doing real well for us. HB Greg, Tibbs has kind of tanked Hart's reputation with Knicks fans at the moment. Like, I don't think he's ever been looked at so poorly. It's mostly just because the coach just names him. I agree, and I have tried really hard to make this like clear. Like, I do not think Josh Hart is not a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's a good player, and he's a really good rotation piece, bench player, whatever you want to call him. He's a spark. That's what I kind of think. Josh Hart to me is like a spark player. When he has it, he gives you something that nobody else in this team can do. Nobody else in this team can grab a rebound and go coast to coast and get through contact to get a layup. Nobody else can kind of just like inject pace into the game for us the way that Josh Hart can. But there's a give and take with that. And, you know, whatever. Like, Tibbs just has a blind spot for him. He just loves him so much that he doesn't really ever hold him accountable when he doesn't play well. And it is what it is. We just have to hope that they can overcome it. I mean, you know, like the Nuggets won a championship with fucking Bruce Brown as their sixth man. And what is he now?
He's fucking sitting on the bench in Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah. He's in New Orleans now. They traded him to New Orleans for Ingram.
Oh, Jesus. Yes. Yeah. I don't even...
Yeah. So, like, yeah, like, and Josh Hart is 50 times the player that Bruce Brown is.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think if fans want to criticize, again, all player criticism is fine, but just understand that, like, he's not the one putting himself out there for 45 minutes a night, you know? John Paracelli asks, can we be real and talk about why these massive runs keep happening with Brunson on the bench? Why is it such a staggering difference when Cat runs the offense? Well, tonight, that wasn't really the case, but to me, it's more about one, we know that the OG starters group, like the old starters group, was just not good. Whatever the reasons, doesn't really matter. They just weren't good. And then two, like it, and very specifically, I think it's because they don't get stops consistently. So they're always going up against a set defense. It just makes it really hard. And obviously, you know, the spacing issues they have with Hart, when Hart was starting, right? You'd have wings on Cat, and then the center kind of plays free safety off of Josh Hart. It just was really hard. That's all I think it is. And yeah, Brunson has had a bad defensive series up until this game. I thought he was really good tonight, actually, on defense.
I thought Brunson's defense today was, I don't want to say good, but it was a big time response.
Dude, he had a fucking contest at Nemhard on the rim, and he forced a miss.
Fucking love this guy, bro.
That was awesome. I was like, what the fuck?
I want to tell all of our viewers right now that you sincerely failed us by not sending the Landry Shamet quote in the fucking replies. So Landry Shamet asked about the standing ovation he got tonight. I love New York. I love these fans. I've seen how they ride the wave, Jesus, the wave with us, the highs, the lows. It's just important for me to give them everything that I've got. I think he's the co-captain.
Landry Shamet, co-captain of the Knicks. I think that he will be on this team next year. That's what I think.
I hope so. Also, Schwinn, I don't know how you're doing it, man. Like 2 hours in, I want to go to fuck to bed.
Yeah, we're almost done. We got a few more comments. We'll go.
Okay.
David Goodman, do those minimum guys want to play for Tibbs' this reputation of him not playing the bench?
Fair.
If you could, fair. I will say I think there are certain guys that would, like if I'm Gary Trent Jr., for example, and I don't get a payday I want, I'm like, okay, I guess I need to showcase myself somewhere one more year.
Yeah.
I would bet that he would play a lot. I would bet that Tibbs would definitely play him quite a bit. He likes he likes players that can get up 3-point shots, even though he may not prioritize it particularly in his game planning. I think he would like a player like Gary Trent. That's also like one thing that Tibbs actually hates more than anything are guys that are not confident. So like he almost reacts better if you take like a couple of stupid pull-up threes because it'd be like, all right, well, at least the guy isn't fucking scared. Like that's what you're out there for, right? Shoot the fucking
At
ball.
least I'm not coaching a fucking bitch.
Yeah, like, well, that's it's the idea of like, if I'm telling you you're out there to shoot the ball, then I need you to shoot the fucking ball when you have the opportunity to shoot the ball. That's why he got pissed at Grimes after a while, right? Because he's like, can you stop pump faking on fucking threes and driving into traffic and trying to do stupid dump off passes to Mitch who can't catch the fucking ball? Like, shoot the fucking three, man.
Yeah.
That's what pisses him off more than anything. So I get David's point, but I do think that there would be guys that would look at this and be attracted. Like HP Greg says, Landry fucking Shaman is getting fucking serenaded in the ECF on TNT, and a decent free agent is looking at that, thinking, "Damn, that could be me," laughing my ass off. And then just is wanted to get to this last one. Tay 2-2. Tibbs trusts Hart because he rebounds the ball, but for reasons Mikal doesn't want to run offense, and OG and Cat can't be trusted 24/7. Criticism goes both ways. I understand why he trusts Hart, and I understand why Hart's brain is Jello. Yeah, it is what it is. All right,
do you think Josh Hart played football?
I think he got asked this, and I don't think he ever did, but he should have.
That's a fucking shock. All right.
I think he should have.
I wanted to show this off. I got this at the watch party 2 days ago.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
What do you think? Josh Hart's a running back, a linebacker?
Josh Hart is a fucking strong safety.
Yeah, sending him. You definitely want him blitzing.
That or like, dude, I want him matching up against Gronk and giving me a chance.
I don't know, dude. He might like lunge at Gronk every time he makes a feint.
Dude, this guy is putting Gronk on the floor. Are you kidding me? he would. Also, he would do great in contested catch situations with Gronk. But, yeah.
Gronk was overrated. That's my take. Fuck him.
Yeah, I'm not defending him after he tweeted that bullshit after Game 5.
I'm also just like, you're not from Boston, dude. Like,
it's not even your sport. Like,
you're from fucking Western New York. Shut the fuck up. Give me a break. All right. That we're gonna call it there. Thank you to everybody for the comments. Appreciate all of them. I'll be recording the pod at some point tomorrow, so hopefully that'll be out tomorrow or potentially Saturday morning. Either way, we'll have it out for you. Con, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Really, man, nothing. Just don't let us win the next one.
Well, yeah, that's my hot take is that tomorrow, Game 6 is a must-win game for the Knicks.
Really?
Yeah. It's my hot
okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. Again, thank you to everybody for the comments. Appreciate it. We'll be back on Saturday night after Game 6. Hopefully the Knicks can extend the series. We'll find out. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you then. Peace.